Hello, hello, hello. I think we are live. I'm very, very sorry for late OP. Teja, hi. Grim, Fandango, hi. And Akshay Daral, hi. Welcome, everyone to another episode of Slambook Show. This is a show that we started a while back. This is the third episode. And this is a show where three guests and I we have a very simple format where each one of us asks a certain question. That question can be anything, and then all of us answer that question, and then we move forward. After every round we take a break, we see if you guys have sent any super chat. We read them out. In case you have a question, we can all answer together, and then we just continue for next 40-45 minutes, max 54 minutes. Very excited. We want to announce that we have a membership program on our channel, so you can register as a member. We are doing a bunch of exclusive member stuff. We are doing a quizzing with member very soon. So if you're a member and you're watching this, we will reach out to you very soon. If we don't reach out, you please message us on our Instagram quizzing ID and tell us that you are a member, exhaustive member, and you want to participate in quizzing with members. Okay. And also we are doing live shows again. If you are in Mumbai, we are doing a show on 22nd of April in Habitat. We will the tickets are on Book My Show. You can go and get your tickets. This is a new show. It's called the Quiz Show. Very simple, where we do quizzing with you guys. You come, we do a prelims, we select top 3, 4, we bring you on stage, we do a final quiz with you guys. No teams, no comedians, no guests, and then we put it out on YouTube in a few months. Okay. Announcements done. Let me call the three guests for today. All three of our guests have been on Slambook Show before, so they know the format. They've all been on this channel several times, so you know them very well. Our first guest is an amazing Deviah Bopanna.
Yo, what's up?
Hi Dev, hi. What's happening? Welcome back to Slambook Show.
Man, so good to be back. And there's been no development from the last time Slambook Show until now. Because there's another quiz I've lost. I've just not won a quiz still. So I just hope one of these intervals I win something so that I come to your channel as a winner. Every time I come as a loser. So
okay, now we go to another someone who was in the last time we did Slambook Show. He was also part of KV Talkies latest episode. You guys can check it out. We did an episode on Diwar. It's available on our channel. Give it up for Rohan Desai.
Hello. Hi. Hello, KV. Hi, Deviah.
Hello, brother. Hello.
What's up?
Welcome.
What's up?
Welcome. On that note, our last guest is another someone all of you know. She's part of the quizzing team, and that's why she can't do quizzing anymore. So we try and bring her for every other thing that we do on this channel. Give it up for Shreemayee.
Woohoo! Hello,
guys. Very excited to do another episode of Slambook Show. I'm sure we are all ready with our questions and answers. Just saying hi to our members Abhishek and Nikunj. Hi guys. Hi. Green Fandango is saying Deviah is using a dial-up connection. Yeah, there is something wrong with.
I just changed. I just switched. Is this better?
It's much better.
Yeah.
It's much better. It's much better. Rohan Desai OP.
Hello.
Happening coming on 22nd. Yes, Shweta, please, most welcome. Everyone else, if you're in Mumbai, please come on 22nd. For people who are asking us on DMs and comments when we are coming to different cities, we are starting with Mumbai. We will try and come to other cities also very, very soon. Hi Akhil, hi, nice to see you in the chat. Cool. Okay, let's do Slambook Show again. To repeat the format for our audience, this is what we do. One of us asks a question. I'll tell you who asked and where we go, and then the rest 3 of us answer, and the person who asked the question then answers that very question at the end, and then we keep going like that to all 4 of us. Okay, these are just Slambook for new Gen Z people who don't know what Slambook is. Slambook used to be the coolest thing in school and colleges, where there would be very objective questions saying favorite person, favorite memory, favorite first crush and stuff like that. So we also have very favorite and kind of those questions, which we are trying to do here. Okay, we are starting with Dev. Okay, Dev, tell us what your question is, and then we'll all start answering.
Hey, there's this one very cool advertising tagline, okay, that I've always loved. the tagline is for an airline. And it says, when was the last time you did something for the first time? Okay. And, there's something very profound about this also, right? Because like nowadays we just stop trying things. So this, question always kind of reminds me of, to do something. So that was my question. So do I start with my answer or like?
No, I'll start. I'll go first.
Yeah.
Then Rohan, then Shreemayee, then you. Yeah, first of all, I want to say, I totally agree with you. And I had this same discussion with someone very recently. Is that how do you define being old? Okay. I think my definition of being old is when you constantly look at the past and you don't look at the future. Like when your proportion of conversations keep going to the past and not to future, I think that's when you're growing old. Every time.
Basically, you become the Hamare Zamane mein uncle.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's very.
But Rohan was born like that.
Yes. Yes. And I'm proud of it. I'm proud, uncle.
Rohan and AK uncle. Born old. Universe has never seen a young Rohan Desai. Or a young AK uncle.
I look at AK uncle and I'm like, Hamare Zamane mein better character actually.
So I think you're right. Like we stopped trying new things. So thank you for asking this because I thought of two things that I've tried recently, but I'll share one in today's episode and maybe save the other one for later. I actually tried. I very recently last week actually went to my first ever spiritual retreat. Okay, this was the first time. I have never done any formal like one of these like places where people go and they do meditation and they do courses about life and all. So barely 10 days back, we went to a certain spiritual retreat near Bangalore, and it was quite an amazing experience. Let me say that first. But having said that, I also feel it was like watching a patriotic movie where you feel very inspired that day कि देश के लिए कुछ करना है यार, कुछ तो करना है यार. And then slowly you're like, okay, ठीक है, life ठीक है. So I feel like just like anything else, if you do implement things that they teach at these courses, I think they might make a lot of changes in your life. For example, we tried meditation. Meditation is something that I've been trying on and off for a long time, but have never been able to consistently do. But when you actually do it, you do realize that it does something to you. I don't know how to say, like in the sense that especially the kind of life four of us and many of our audience will live, it's a very non-stop kind of life. It's very like we are all part of this new hustle culture where you wake up and like ये करना है वो करना है फिर ऐसा comment आ गया फिर ये project भेजना है ये करना है वो करना है. So take a pause and just reflect कि क्या कर रहे हैं life में यार. Who are we? What are we doing? मतलब क्या? That pause I think is very important because now we have gone into a
If you
mode.
go on for some more time and we put a really nice background music, you can start a channel called Beer Biceps right now. You have used the keywords meditation, hustle, okay, and you have spoken about feeling nice, right? Like, so you're just one step away, actually, just like,
Oh man, I don't know how to react because we are in public right now. I wish it was one of our chill sessions.
Sorry, sir, but again,
No,
please,
I have
liking
no
this.
reply.
KVizzing biceps. I like where this is going. Please carry on.
Coffee biceps. Coffee doesn't give you biceps also. Not that beer gives you. Anyway, so I think it was a very different experience. And I think that if I do continue, not just me, I think people, if you take a pause and meditate, maybe there is some changes that might happen in our life. So I tried meditation for the first time.
But was there something that you didn't expect from a spiritual retreat or something, or like you didn't expect from meditation that happened during these like whatever week, 3-4 days that you were there?
So it was a mix. Like some things were something that you always know. It's just that if someone tells you that be in the present, or if someone tells you nobody else can define your happiness, these are things you've read in books to Instagram reels. Like everywhere you've read this. But sometimes it just feels good to take a pause and actually try and understand what these cliched talks are. That happened because we took a break. The whole system took a break because even in terms of food, we ate just sattvic food. We had a routine where we just had to sit, meditate, spend time with myself. So that pause, when you start thinking of very basic things, you sometimes think, "Arey, yahan yaar, these are sayings for a reason. Like the reason all these gurus for many years have been trying to say this. So that happened in terms of pure meditation. Also, some thoughts and some things happened which don't happen in like a normal life. So this was a mix. Okay, now we go to Rohan for the answer to Deviah's question.
I'll also go back 1 week in my life. Basically, Shreemayee and I had traveled to Vietnam recently.
Damn it, you took my answer.
No, it's not. I mean, we did. Obviously, when you travel, you try a lot of new things.
Yeah.
So for me, the big thing about traveling to Vietnam was I had told Shreemayee also that I'm a vegetarian and I'm uncle, obviously. So for me, it's not a food trip. It's just a nature, culture, museum vagera trip. I am not going for the food. So when we landed, first few days, I only had Indian food because I was like, I don't know if I like it and I don't want to spend money on stuff I don't like and all that. And then finally, after a few days, I like tried something called pho. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. The vegetarian version of it I found and I tried it. And man, it was so good. It was insane. Like when you find something, like for me, that opened up a new cuisine. Like I know it's just one dish and there's a lot more in Vietnamese cuisine, but somehow that it broke that barrier which I had for a long time because I had tried it in India 1 or 2 times Vietnamese food and I never liked it. So I was like, this is just something I'm never having for the rest of my life. And then I had it and it's basically noodle soup. So first I was like, okay, let's just taste the soup. Noodles, I don't know if I like it. And then I had the soup and my mind was blown at how good it was. And then I had it with the noodles and they are not like normal. Again, you guys have probably eaten it, so I'm sounding like a noob, but like it's not normal noodles, like in my head, I had an image of what a noodle is, and this was like very light, but it was like soaking up the soup I can't describe it, but it was amazing. And then they had something called bagel twist, which is like a fried dough bread, something. And I had read that you dip it in the pho and you have it. So I wanted to try it. So I ordered that also. And I dipped it and then I waited and finally I had it and it was, man, it just became even better. And then Shreemayee pointed out that there's chili sauce if you want to add chili. And I was like, okay, let's try it since I'm trying everything. And it just, every single thing I was doing was just making it even better. So it was absolutely like a mind-blowing experience.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow. But that's the thing with travel, no? Like travel keeps throwing you like fucking these. It can be like a food thing or like just an experience thing that's beautiful. Like that's why travel is so essential to like.
But I also
sorry, go ahead.
No, you say.
So especially with like food, no? Like what happens is generally you go to a place, okay, and you eat that cuisine and you fall in love with it, and then you come back and you go to that cuisine place in India, and then you just best way to kill the love for that food, Go to a Thai place over here and then have it, and you're like, shit, this ruins the memory fully. And because you keep wanting to get that taste, right?
Yeah.
And the reverse also happens. Like it happened with me in terms of like Italian food. Like I kept thinking pizza kaun khata hai, ye wo, all my life. And then my friend took me to like a proper Italian restaurant run by Italian family in suburbs of Toronto. Okay, I ate it. I'm like, bhais kyun? Ye kya hai bhai? Ye kya kha raha hu main? And then I came back, tried again. I'm like, no, bahar hi khaunga. I can't have it. Yeah, sorry.
But I also feel that, KV, to add to what you're saying, yes, obviously travel helps, but I think it's also like what I learned is that you also have to be open to it. Like you can be surrounded by, like even within where we live, there are experiences waiting for you to discover, but you also have to have that, courage or whatever, open-mindedness. So that was an important lesson for me. And second thing is that like not in this particular case because I had it for the first time, but sometimes like what they were saying, you have Indian versions of food, and then you have the authentic one, like, oh, to ye karne ki koshish kar rahe hain kya? So this is what they're trying to do. Okay, this is amazing, right?
Yeah. But sorry, one last reaction to that that open-minded thing. Traveling with closed mind is like then don't travel.
Don't travel.
Yeah, just like watch these YouTube videos aram se. Everything is available for free. sit and watch Vietnam. There are
Yeah.
proper
Yeah,
videos of
yeah.
roads of Vietnam. You can like full day you can watch. Streets of
Yeah.
London, there are CCTV cameras, live footage. You can enjoy. No need to
Yeah.
travel when you're like नहीं मुझे यही करना है, नहीं ये तो करना ही
Yeah.
नहीं.
I
Hey, कौन
hate
खाता
such
है?
people.
छी छी छी. हे
I
भगवान.
really like, I hate such people. I feel like, like people who travel so much and then they go to all these places that I would die to go to. And like, I wish I could afford and I wish I had the chance to go to all these places.
Yeah.
And then they go to all these places and then don't make use of it.
Yeah,
I think that's the worst thing that you
Yeah.
can ever do in
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. It's a travesty.
Like
Okay.
right now, no,
Sorry,
Diama is in Thailand.
Thailand.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing his stories. He's fucking eating roti, dude, every day over there. Man, roti.
I in fact just before the stream I messaged them. I was saying, are you vegetarian? Because there's no
Yes.
explanation for this.
He is vegetarian.
Yes, he told me.
But like there are enough veg Thai food to have, I think.
But I think it takes some time. Like even with Rohan, like
Yeah.
the first 2-3 days, you're just like,
Yeah.
I'll just eat something familiar, and then once
Yeah.
you become a little more comfortable with the place or whatever,
Yeah.
that's when
Yeah.
you're, I think, more ready to take the risk.
Also,
Cool.
in defense of
Sorry.
uncles, I'll say one last thing is that sometimes when you go to a new place and it's so new, everything is so new, you want
Yeah.
something familiar to kind of balance.
Fair. Yeah.
So it's
100%.
also that.
And you are who you like. 3-4 दिन में एक बार तो मुझे भी मन करता है दाल चावल लपेटने का. No matter
Correct,
where I
correct.
travel, like भाई आज मुझे सिर्फ पराठा खाना है, guys, please.
Yeah.
So that's
Actually,
why.
that way, Southeast Asia is really good because comfort food is rice. So over there,
Yeah.
like rice is with everything.
That's true.
Right.
So for me, it works really well.
Fried rice. Okay, before it turns into a food, and Deviah compares us to I don't know which food influencer. We come back to Shreemayee answer on when was the last time you tried something for the first time.
Okay, so it's similar. It's also from the Vietnam trip that we just did. So we had gone on a cruise, and it was my first time on a cruise. I'd never done a cruise before. It was very exciting for me because in general, like I'm not like a very like water friendly kind of person, and I am also like stressed about everything. So even things like will there be Wi-Fi, and like all the articles you read, everyone's just like be prepared to be disconnected from the world and enjoy nature. And I'm like, okay, but like what about social media? So I was very, very stressed, but I had a very good time. And like we also did kayaking, which is also something I did for the first time. And again, like I'm not a very like active person, but it made me like realize that there are like I can just do things for the sake of doing something new, and that in itself is exciting, and that in itself is something that you should do. And the cruise thing was especially exciting for Rohan and me because about 2 months back we went to Fort Kochi, and we went to and one of the days we went to a restaurant, and we could like it was like one of those backwater type restaurants where you could see like ships moving and cruises and whatever. And Rohan and I had this really long conversation where we were like, okay, this is how it must be like in cruises. Neither of us had been on a cruise before. And we were like, we'll probably never be able to afford something like this, which is, it's okay. You can, you sort of make peace with it. And literally we came back, and within a week, Rohan came to the room and he was like, I found this really nice cruise in Vietnam. I think we should go.
Oh man.
So it was in 2 months, it was like I had lived that entire journey, which was amazing.
And for Indians, no, I think our first flavor of a cruise was, in a cruise, basically you'll be disappointed. Like Hrithik Roshan comes and plays for you. Like how
like you've only seen cruise and like Kaho Na Pyar Hai or like Humraz or something where Akshay Khanna is coming and dancing on it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Or Dil Dhadakne Do.
All the
that's true. That is much later though. Like Kaho Na Pyar Hai was when we were
That's
kids.
true.
Yeah. But I want to tell audience quickly, we want to recommend Ha Long Bay in Vietnam.
Yes.
Okay, guys. Anyway, we can I think talk about Southeast Asia for many hours, but we want to quickly recommend Ha Long Bay near Hanoi in Vietnam. Very cheap compared to many tourist sites in the world. For Indians, it's not that expensive. You can fly there and you can take at least 1 night cruise, if possible 2 night cruise, and it's like one of your bucket list items. Like Ha Long Bay is just beautiful. So please try and do that. Yeah, that's just one recommendation on our behalf. Cool. Okay, back to who started the question. Deviah, when was the last time you did something for the first time? Your question.
It's crazy, but it was a week ago.
Oh,
And,
wow.
Wow.
This has been a great week for us.
and, I decided to, and again, it's a food thing. I decided to turn vegetarian for, a week. All right. And I'm like the hardest, corest non-veg guy around. And, to the extent that even my breakfast needs to have like, some ham, like it's that.
Yeah.
So I decided, okay, I went to the doctor, and obviously it has to start from there, right? Like there's no way, no sane person will go vegetarian. It started with a random blood test that led to the doctor telling me like, yo, like you need to like get this in order. So I said, okay, let me like go the extreme to sort this out and let me go vegetarian, for at least like, let me try 5 days and extend to a week. And, it was the worst first thing I've ever done in my life. And I lost weight. Okay. But that's because like veg food is so bad, I couldn't eat it. And it's not like it made me healthy because it was healthy food. And like then I realized vegetarians are healthy not because they're eating healthy food, it's because they're not eating food. Okay. And for example, obviously mornings, you're not there in the loo so much because you've eaten like very little and whatever you've eaten is very healthy. So you don't have to hang on for a long time. So overall, it was a very bad experience. And I have now relapsed as in I went day before night with a friend, for this, to Jogeshwari and had every meat like to undo the last 1 week of torture.
Oh man.
But yeah, it did not go well. So like what I was thinking was, I thought I'd share a success story with you guys. Most of the time, these are experiences, right? Like you do something and, it generally turns out good. But this did not turn out so well. So yeah, I mean, not all experiences have to be good experiences.
Dude, that flip was too funny.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Because I legit, everyone who comes with such stories always is like, okay, I quit dairy. And like within 10 days, and like I became vegetarian, I became vegan. And you're like, this 1 week was the worst week.
Could not do it. So then
do.
I spoke to my trainer, yesterday, and he was like, no, now he's put me on a non-veg diet, which will also keep me healthy. Let's see how that goes.
Nice.
All the best.
Excited. Okay. All the best, Dave. That was the first round of questions. I'll just have a look at the chat and we'll come back to second round. A lot is happening in chat, but I'll just quickly skim through it. Subhashmit Gupta has gifted 5 channel membership. So people have obviously taken the gift. Nachiketa has taken it. Nude. So we are getting new members because people are gifting membership to different people. Beautiful. Vansh has also taken that membership. Shwetank has taken Subhashmit's membership. Wow. Vansh is so happy. He says, first time I've been gifted a membership. Thanks a lot. Yes, Shweta. Everybody is thanking Subhashmit. That's nice. And then Nikunj Vaishnavi came, and Nikunj has also now gifted 5 Kumar Varun membership. So now people, Akhil and Shivank and Shreya, Vamsi, they were all like legit people who have been with our channel for a very long time. And they have all taken membership. I guess it's Christmas. Jinesh says, finally it's here. Watch the first 2 episodes a number of times, keeping fingers crossed for a new episode. Christmas came early. ऐसा ही कुछ कहते हैं ना. Much love. Jinesh loves Slambook Show. Thank you, Jinesh. Thank you. Aaj Good Friday hai. Shreya says, so much fun. People are thanking other people for gifting the membership. Someone said, it feels like Oprah is here. You take a membership. You take a membership. You all take a membership. Nikunj is planning a trip to Vietnam. Obviously going to
nice.
Nice, Nikunj. Nice.
Anyone's gifting trips to Vietnam or what on chat?
I think that's happening on Swiggy.
Oh man. Cool. Okay, that was the first round. We'll start the second round of questions. It's my question. I have a very basic question. Just tell me your favorite thing about your hometown. Okay, whatever your hometown. Just tell us, this is my favorite thing about this city. We'll start with Rohan.
So I'm from the city of Surat, which is, but I grew up in a township outside the city, so I don't know much about my city. But there's one thing I really appreciate the city for, and it's not something that I feel gets enough appreciation. Is that you'll see on Instagram a lot of times something goes viral, a video goes viral that they make. Oh, dosa mein ice cream dal diya, isme cheese dal diya, and all that shit. Yes, Deviah, deal with it, okay? It's happening. The world is happening, okay? It doesn't
Idli
stop
mein
for you.
chocolate dal diya, yeah.
Yes.
You know, this is the time when I feel like, you know, I'm like, yeah, freedom of expression should not be there at all times, right? You can't be allowed to do whatever you want to be doing, right? Like,
I welcome you to the Uncle Club, but this is where we disagree. I actually, so the thing is, I have tried a bunch of this in Surat. I'm not saying Surat is like the epicenter of this innovation, but it happens there also. And I've tried a few of them. I have not liked any of them. They were quite horrible, but I appreciate the spirit. I know it gets shit on a lot, but innovation has a price, all right? And I feel that something good will come from it. That's like when people in comedy or in films or in music try new shit, people are always like, oh, it's so experimental. But when it comes to food, somehow people are very close-minded. Certain people come to mind, but I don't know, I feel it's a good thing, and I feel something good will come from this only. This is the spirit, and I like that it's not coming from like fancy as pretentious cafes. It's coming from literally like people who sell street food and all. So it's great. The latest thing I saw was some ice soda that has peanuts and cheese in it, in the soda.
Wow.
So, people, I love that people are trying, and I love the people of Surat for giving these things a chance to create that ecosystem where people feel comfortable to experiment. I think something good will come from it.
Wow.
Cool. So it's basically
it's also-
Surat
I mean-
and the experiment with food. Sorry, Shreemayee.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
I think Gujarati food is so nice, but everyone just keeps talking about all these innovations on
Yeah.
roadsides, and that's what people think Gujarati food is, which is just sad.
Yeah, that is sad actually. Surat is known for its food, and the traditional food and the snacks is damn good. Very, very good.
Yeah, I love a Gujju thali. Like I love
Yeah,
those thali
same.
places with
Yeah.
Gujju.
Same.
And in fact, the non-vegetarian food is quite underrated. Not many people know about it, but there are
what?
KVizzing. Oh, sorry. Did I freeze?
Yes.
For a
I was
second, yeah.
saying, apart from Gujju thali, there are also pockets in Ahmedabad and all that serve like amazing non-veg food that not many
Yes.
people know about.
Even Surat.
Hmm.
And there's like there's like specific non-veg food that is only made typically there. Like there's certain type of mutton that's only available in Surat, so stuff like that is also there. And sorry, one last thing I'll add is that growing up, I had eaten, we used to eat something called Chinese bhel, which is available in Mumbai also, I know. But the one that I grew up eating would have Manchurian noodles, the fried noodles, the rice, and a fried pasta macaroni type of a thing. And it sounds horrible, I know, but it was very good, all right. And that someone probably took a chance with the fucking fried macaroni, and it worked, and it was great. And they had like Manchurian and all that stuff. And then I shifted to Bombay. I tried the Chinese meal here, and it's literally sauce and fried noodles. That's it. So let's not knock on the innovators too much.
Innovator.
I love how he suddenly made me feel guilty for
Okay,
being
now we go to
angry
Shreemayee.
that someone put ice cream into dosa, dude. Like, what is this?
Yes, no one's making you eat it. Let people try. Let people try, man.
Okay, we'll go to Shreemayee now and her favorite thing about her hometown.
Okay, I think this is going to turn into another food stream very soon.
Yeah. I was about to say
Yeah.
Shreya Verma in the chat just wrote, it's amazing how every question is just becoming a food one.
We're just
That's how
revealing
the
what
panel
we
is.
are.
Yeah. This is who we are as people. But I am from Calcutta. I grew up there, and you can't escape it. Like the food in Calcutta is just it's too good, and it's so cheap. And like you can have like really good meals for very, very little money, which is great. And but the food tastes so good. Like in every roadside like corner of Calcutta, like street food, the chicken roll or whatever, fish fry and whatever they sell, everything is so good. There's so much so much traditional food happening, but also like what Rohan values, innovation happening over there. And now the new thing in Calcutta is every old house has been turned into a new cafe, which is, I mean, it's exciting because, at least in some way the houses are preserved. They're not being turned
Yes.
into like apartment
Yeah,
buildings and
yeah.
all, which I like. And what I really like about it is every time I go to one of these new cafes in Calcutta, they are all good. Like, it's not like the quality is suffering because there are so many of them and there's so much competition or whatever. They've all managed to make it really, really good. The bakeries are so good. They have bakeries which are like over 100 years old, and they're like special Christmas traditions associated with them and whatever. And you just don't get it in other parts of the country. I have to put it out there, but Calcutta food is you don't get that kind of food anywhere else. So it's definitely my favorite part of growing up in Calcutta.
Strong agree. I think I've said this on record, but I'll say again that my favorite, and I can claim because I've eaten at enough cities in this country, but I think Calcutta has the best food. Like, I will always say this. It's just the best.
Yeah. And
Okay.
we have like an old Chinatown with like great Indian Chinese. And if you go to the Maidan, and then you get like chicken stew and rice and fish fry, and it's okay. Sorry.
Cool.
I'll stop.
Cool. I know. Okay, Dev. Are we going to talk about food of Coorg or Bangalore, or what are we going to do?
No. So to tell you what I love about my hometown, I'll first tell you what I hated about it. Okay, so because like that was the
Those
change
five
that came
vegetarians.
My place in the place I come from in Coorg, this place called Godikappa. So that's where my grandfather had his estate and his house. And growing up, it was I hated Coorg. It was the worst place to go for a summer vacation for a kid because this was the 90s. All right, so there is a wind and a tree falls somewhere in the middle of the estate. It cuts out electricity for sometimes 4 to 5 days at a stretch. Okay, there is, because they have to come and redo everything, and by then there's another wind and something falls. So during rainy seasons, it's very normal for you to not have power 10 days, at a stretch. And then, back then we used to use antennas, right? So you couldn't even get cable TV because they won't send one cable 10 kilometers long to one house.
Yeah.
So there was no TV, there was no electricity, and there are no neighbors, obviously, because it's like in the middle of like the forest, there's one house. So it was the most dreadful like holiday situation for me. I used to get I used to wait for school to start. Like, imagine that. Right? So that was my summer vacation, was waiting for my summer vacation to end. But now, the same, I love going back there for the same reason that, like everything gets cut off. All right. So you're forced not to watch TV. You're forced, you don't have network most of the times. So, and that's what I love about it. Like, now I look forward to going there because you're forced to just, there are books, you read books, and you just have to live basically it's a time off, right? It's not traveled much. And especially my place, because I don't know why there's still no Vodafone network, but then I realized there's no Vodafone network anywhere in India. So I'm still very, YOLO, nice, disconnected, digital native life. But more so in Coorg. So that's what I love about it. The seclusion it brings in every form is nice to go once in a while and reflect.
Yes. Just like that spiritual retreat I was talking about.
Oh, yes. Coming back to the same thing.
Nice to be.
Maybe we should start a channel.
We should start a channel, brother. Okay, I'm gonna end this hometown thing. I know this was my question, but I legit, like, the moment I thought about it, and I was like, I don't have a hometown. Like, this is one of the most difficult questions to answer when people ask me, where are you from? Because I really don't identify with this. This is who I am and this is where I am from. I feel like because I have spent time in Jamshedpur is where I started, and then I moved to Bokaro, and there are Devghar and Ara. But I think my majority of my life before we moved to Mumbai was in Delhi NCR. So I would pick Delhi as my hometown. And it also makes sense because we went from West India, East India, South India into Delhi. So it's nice, nice this thing also for the episode. Delhi, I have a very standard answer. I'm not going with food, obviously. But I think Delhi, the history that you see in Delhi is just mind-blowing. I mean, I don't think, we can always debate. There are many historical cities in the country, from Hampi to Lucknow to Calcutta to Mumbai, and every city has very Varanasi. There's rich history in this country. But
Surat.
just the Surat, yes, just the amalgamation and just so many eras, so many cities exist in this one city of Delhi. It's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Like whoever wants to just know about different phases and how a city transforms through ages should just go to Delhi and just go to these ruins in Delhi. Apart from the more popular ones, of course, there are so many of these small forts in every corner. There is just so much history in Delhi, it will blow your mind. So, for example, Delhi is mentioned, of course, in our mythological books as Hastinapur and Indraprasth and all that. All that was supposed to be the modern city of Delhi. And then there was obviously the later Tomars and Chauhans, and then Delhi Sultanate. So you can see these dynasties that literally one signal ke baad. Like you start with Delhi Sultanate, so you'd see Qutub Minar in Mehrauli, okay, which is from Qutubuddin Aibak, Razia Sultan in Iltutmish. So you see that you're like, okay, this I'm back to like 1200, 1300. You just take a right on Mehrauli Gurgaon Road. After a few signals, you'll reach Tughlaqabad Fort, which is a different, it's a different dynasty, it's a different era. It's Tughlaq.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, what's happening? In middle of all this, there are ruins from like, I don't know where, it's just crazy. And then you keep going. If you go towards central Delhi, then you see like the tombs from Lodi. So you have Sikandar Lodi's tomb, you have Lodi Gardens, you have Lodi tombs, which are from Lodis, etc., etc. And then you have a whole Mughal phase. Whole city of Shahjahanabad, which is now called Old Delhi, is Mughal. You have one of the largest mosques, most wonderful architecture in the world in Jama Masjid. You have Red Fort, which now the Red Fort today is just 20-30% of the original Red Fort. So you can imagine how big Red Fort would have been. So you have this Chandni Chowk, you have this whole city from the time of Mughal. You go to these gates like Ajmeri Gate and Lahori Gate, everything has a history. Because Ajmeri Gate, if you take and go straight, you will reach Ajmer. Lahori Gate, if you go straight, you'll reach Lahore. That city is just crazy. And then after Mughals, of course, you have the whole Latins Delhi, because Delhi became our capital in 1911. And then you have these wonderful monuments like the Parliament House and like India Gate and like all of these like Rajpath and Vijaypath. Names have changed now. I'm sorry, I'm not that updated. But Kartavyapath, I think that's what it's called now, Kartavyapath. And these are these beautiful buildings. And then even modern, like some of the Connaught Place, just too much history in that city. Like Humayun's tomb, it's beautiful. You go to Humayun's tomb, it will blow your mind. It's so good. And of course, you have like even modern infrastructure. Delhi has managed to be ahead of most Indian metros in terms of its roads, in terms of its metro. So even modern history is very interesting. So yeah, I mean, Delhi, and really the history in that city. There are many problems with the city, but of course, but history is just crazy.
I think there's too much like history, right? Because I didn't even like know of, like, obviously very rarely I went to Delhi as like growing up years because I was down south, but I didn't even know of Humayun's tomb, man. Like, and then when I went there for the first time, I thought, yeah, okay, what is it? It is like, it's crazy. It's like so beautiful. And I'm like, how is this not famous? Right?
Yeah.
It's just like, and there's so much of history. I think that's the problem, right? It's just got so much history everywhere that like everything's competing.
Yeah. Cool. I'll just have a look at the chat. This is halftime, and then we'll come back to Rohan's question. I don't know where we left it last. Oh, it was Jinesh's super chat. A lot of new members now, of course. The chat looks like it's a member chat.
I think YouTube is now gifting memberships.
Nikun says variety of fusion food available not only in Surat but Gujarat as a whole is amazing. Yes, Nikun, we've all agreed that
Yes.
Gujarat has amazing.
I don't know if
food.
we've all agreed, but
Who has
Some of
not
us.
agreed? The man who doesn't know Humayun's tomb.
Okay. Shreya says having a strong history element always makes traveling interesting. Yes.
yeah.
Akhil says in Delhi you'll find a lot of Lodi architecture. In Mumbai you'll find a lot of Lodha architecture.
Dude, I want to gift that person a YouTube membership. I don't have. Please.
As ex-Lodha resident, thank you, Akhil, and I think Dev and I have spent a lot of time in that Lodha.
Right.
We met someone today afternoon who said, I know Deviah, you and Deviah used to walk after dinner in Powai. I'm like, how do you know such intimate details of our life, brother? What? Oh man, but well done, Akhil. Well done, well done. Good joke. Like proper comedians and
Yeah,
writers.
yeah.
One
should
fun
do that.
point.
One fun point. Okay, now we are going to Rohan's question. Rohan, what question do you have for the panel?
Yeah, my question is that what is one moment or any one moment in your life where you felt you were experiencing something that you felt was like औकात के बाहर type of in a positive way, Devaya, I mean, if you are capable of such
Yes,
emotions, yeah, some positive feeling or moment in your life where you felt like, wow, this is like insane, that this is beyond me. I can't believe that I'm getting to experience this.
Okay. So the question is basically like one moment from our life where we still can't believe that this happened to us. Like this was way
Or
beyond
even if you felt in
imagination.
that moment, if you felt now, if you are normal with it, that's
Yeah.
also fine.
Okay, cool. So we are going to Shreemayee first. Okay, with this.
I think for me, it was just like I was a comedy fangirl before I actually started, producing comedy shows or doing comedy myself. And for me, one of my biggest mistakes, I just can't get over the fact that I know some of these people who I used to fangirl over, and that in itself seems like औकात के बाहर for me. I really feel like I grew up, even though they are more or less my age, and some of them are younger than me also. But I really feel like I grew up admiring these people who I get to be friends with or I get to hang out with. Like I wouldn't dare to say they are my friends, but and that is just it's just beyond my wildest imagination.
Thanks, Shreemayee. Thank you.
Yeah,
Very sweet.
sure. Like I have two examples of this. One of them is this one time something happened in a quiz or something, and then Ashish Shakya messaged me and he said, okay, give me the gossip. And I was just like, I spent my entire college reading Ashish Shakya's columns, and I cannot believe that he is like, I have reached a stage where he is asking me for gossip.
Yeah.
Like that in itself, it just blew my mind. I still think about it. Like sometimes when I meet Shaks, I'm always a little bit like, I can't believe I get to talk to this person.
Yeah.
The other thing happened the first time Varun wished me on my birthday, and I just lost my shit. I was just like, I can't believe he knows that it's my birthday and he's wishing me, because I was like one of those crazy fans. I would go for all his shows. I still go for all his shows. Just love the work that he did. And it's insane that I have and it just happened like by chance. I didn't do anything. I didn't like work extra hard or like take some decisions to make this happen. It was just some random incidents that sort of and made all of this come together. So beautiful. I think for me it's that.
Beautiful. Okay, we are now going to Deviah. Dev, something that happened which you feel औकात के बाहर.
Yeah, so I just moved to Bombay. This was 2013, okay? And I just moved to Bombay, and obviously, right, like Bombay is this glitz, glamour, Bollywood, and that whole circle, right? You always like, as an outsider, I'm not doing nepotism and all, but as someone who's not from Bombay, it's something that like, you always have a certain picture in your head. Though now I find it very funny, but at that moment it was just crazy for me. I was early for a movie in PVR, in Juhu PVR, okay? And for some reason, I was like some 30 minutes early, because this is what happens when you have to rely on public transport, right? You're either really early or you're late. So you just can't reach on time. So I was 30 minutes early, and then I got my ticket, and I was new, all right? So my cousin said, I'm waiting for you upstairs. And I did not know my way around Juhu PVR. So I asked them, where's the theater? And I pressed like some second floor or something. And I went to the theater, like it opened and I see PVR. And, I just get in, and the security guy and, I pressed the button and my cousins also come along with me. And the security guy, who's supposed to frisk, he said, namaste, okay. So I'm like, hey, what? This is a great service. So then he lets me in. There's no frisking, okay. So he just lets me in, and I was like, what is happening? Is everyone so polite over here? Then I realized I have entered the premiere of a movie, And the security guard thought I'm one of the guests with my cousin. They thought we are the guests. So we've
Yeah.
just been like, no one asked for passes, dude, when you're going for
It's just confidence. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just confidence. And I didn't know I was entering a premiere, so I just walked in. And then I entered the premiere of the movie, Singh Saab the Great. Okay. which stars Sunny Deol, Amrita Rao, directed by Anil Sharma.
Yeah.
And the premiere had just gotten over.
Yeah.
So everyone was outside coming out, and Sunny Deol was just thanking everyone. And I saw Sonu Nigam, I saw Sunny Deol, I saw Sunil Shetty, Jackie Shroff. Basically, like the whole border team was there to give their commander vote of confidence. And also that's the first time I realized how people lie. Obviously it was a bad movie, but everyone like, oh, brilliant. Ye to chalega sir, bahut badhiya hai. Like, everyone was telling Sunny Deol this. And then not just did I crash this, but I also went and they were giving free samosa sandwiches. I think I ate like some, I think the movie, they couldn't recover the money because I ate so much over there. That was itself like a good bill. So I finished everything and then I was late for my movie, but it was totally good. So that was my first very close quarters brush with Bollywood, just seeing all these guys.
God.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Imagine
What a story.
You don't plan this and you enter and you see all your childhood heroes in one place, like Jackie Shroff, Sunil Shetty, Sunny Deol, like all the actors, and just complete mind blown.
That's crazy. Oh,
Wow.
wow. This is crazy. Oh man. Okay, cool. This is okay. My turn again. I'm not trying to be one of those pretentious, humble people, but my answer is very similar to what Shreemayee said. Like, I think from the day that this whole shift from corporate to this life happened, every few days something happened where I'm like, man, is this happening? A lot of times you're like, dude, ye kaise ho raha hai yaar? Like, how this happened is completely auqat ke bahar. Like Shreemayee said, including Shakya, Shakya, he was part of this thing also, where he called me and he said, hey man, we are working on a sketch. Do you want to be part of it? I'm like, Shakya kaise call kar raha hai meko yaar? Kaise ho gaya life? And then again, like Shreemayee said, some of the people we chill with, like, how are we chilling with these people, dude? Like, yeah, dude. Anyway, but I've thought of a specific incident which happened last year, okay, so last year I had planned a holiday. I was planning a trip to Europe, but that trip was not happening only because of whatever visa ka problem, timing ka problem, a lot of issues were happening. So I said I won't go. And one of the philosophies I live by, and Shreemayee knows this, is I keep repeating ki jo hota hai achhe ke liye hota hai. I'm like, oh man, some good will happen. Okay. Then one day I get a call, which I later got to know. You know how I got that call? This I've never shared with any friend. Some writer of a particular campaign had seen me in his friend's Insta story. Okay.
Wow.
So imagine a guy is writing a marketing campaign for a brand. He is friends with a certain guy. That friend posted an Insta story with me. He saw that story like, this guy looks interesting. And then he started to research about me and he saw my work and all. And he said, this guy looks interesting. I can hire him for this campaign. So
I know where this is going.
Yeah. So he recommended me for a certain campaign. And then one day I get a call from Star Sports one afternoon. Here only. I'm chilling. Star Sports calls me and they say, hey man, are you free on whatever 8th, 9th April? I said, yeah. They said, you have a shoot with Amir Khan on me. I'm like, I just couldn't believe it. I thought they'll one of those like audition kar do, ye kar do. So I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't know, talk to my manager. Half of the time you feel like, I don't know if it's real or not. And then my manager calls me like, yeah, it's done. They want only you. It's happening. And see,
Wow.
I've shot an ad with Ajay Devgan, and like I've done little bit of whatever these people I met here and there. But Amir Khan, I couldn't believe. It was like, dude, Amir Khan is that one actor I've like grew up like. It's very like Tendulkar type. When Tendulkar innings came, what were you doing? The Amir Khan movies, I know when like whatever Gulam happened, I was here. Sarfarosh and Lagan and Dil Chahta Hai to everything. Amir Khan ke saath shoot hai kya? Dude, I just can't believe that I went and I spent a whole day with Amir Khan, like in his periphery. If not talking to him, he's sitting and having chai, and I'm standing and looking at him, and I'm like, I am in the same chill session with Amir Khan.
Wow.
Like there was Irfan Pathan and Harbhajan Singh and people, and otherwise I would have fully fanboyed with these guys. But I'm like, एक second, guys. तुम लोग कभी और मिलना. अभी आमिर खान बैठा इधर, and Amir Khan is just chilling, is talking about like whatever, मैं लंदन गया तो ये किया, मेरे घर में ऐसा. आमिर खान के सामने कैसे हो यार? And then he called me and I shot with him, and he really liked what I did. I don't know. He might be complimenting everyone. I don't want to know. Okay. He might be a nice guy and he would compliment every actor. Maybe. But he came to me and he's like, dude, you're so good. You're so good. And I'm like, यार आमिर खान मुझे compliment दे रहा है, guys. एक साल तक मेरे को 1000 घटिया YouTube कमेंट भी आएगा ना, मैं बोलूंगा डाल दो अपने अंदर. मेरे को आमिर खान अच्छा बोल चुका है, भाड़ में जाओ fucking whoever you are. And Amir Khan sat with me and he's like, this photo khichate and like whatever, he was so chill. And he said, dude, you're so good, yaar. Why have I not seen your work before? I'm like, अरे YouTube पे like वो मैं करता नहीं YouTube, but मैं कहा हाँ ठीक है whatever. But I'm like, आपके साथ बैठा हूँ यार, guys. This is too much औकात के बाहर to have shot with Amir Khan. That was the peak.
Did you invite him for KVizzing?
Oh my God, that is exactly what my first question was.
Like you should have, that you should have taken that shot. Like, hey, by the way I do this.
One day. It's little
But
like more
brilliant.
equal this thing will call. अभी ambition में कोई कमी नहीं है. One day, hey Amir, come tonight 9 p.m. Slambook Show.
And then you go to him, "Arey, you're so good at quizzing."
Good, yeah. How you got that answer, dude? You're so good.
How come I've never seen you quiz before?
Yeah.
वो मैं करता हूँ फिल्मों में. Oh, I don't watch.
मैं घर में क्विज करता हूँ, तेरा घर में देखता नहीं, सॉरी. अरे यार मेरा लाइन चला गया इंटरनेट के चक्कर में.
Sorry.
I'll repeat anyway. I had believe in this line. I said, अरे you're so good यार, why don't you quiz? And he said कि नहीं मैं घर में क्विज करता हूँ, तेरा घर मैंने देखा नहीं है. Okay, cool. We'll go to Rohan now. We'll go to Rohan now for his answer on his own question. Something that you आपके बाहर.
Yeah, this was a very freak thing that happened to me. I had gone to America to spend some time with my sister, and for some reason, my parents wanted to stay for longer. I wanted to come back early, so I took a flight and came alone to India. But the layover was at the Seoul airport in South Korea. And for some reason, when we got onto the plane, we got off and then we got onto the new plane. It didn't take off for like 1.5 hours, and there was constantly some problem. And they kept saying it will take like 20 minutes, it'll take half an hour, it'll take 10 minutes. And it kept going on. And at one point, basically they switched off the AC and just announced that we'll have to deboard the plane because there is some issue with the part. So the plane will only take off the next day. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll have to spend one night in the airport. Okay. So we got off the plane and then they were like, come with us.
Under it's coming this story.
Yeah. So then they took us, they're like, come with us. So like, okay, maybe they have some guest room वगैरह कुछ होगा. And then they took us and they made us stand in the immigration line. And they told us, you are going to get a emergency visa for South Korea. So I'm like, hey, ये क्या हो रहा है? So they gave us all a South Korea visa and they made us pass through immigration. Then they like, come, and then it took us out. And then they said that there's a hotel nearby. So we are going to let you stay there. Wow. And then there was a bus to pick us up. And it was a Mercedes-Benz bus, which I didn't know that they made buses also. So already my mind is blown that I'm in South Korea and I'm getting a bus and there'll be some hotel also. And we go to the hotel and it's fucking some Grand Hyatt, some insane hotel. Insane. And I'm like, is this for, am I in the wrong bus? Is this for business class passengers? What is going on? And they're like, we'll give you a room. So I'm like, अबे अब किसके साथ share करना पड़ेगा? And then वो train mentality होती है ना कि यार क्यों मिलेगा अपने को room? क्यों मिलेगा भाई? And I go and I'm like, they give me a key and they're like, this is your room. So I'm like, wow, मेरा खुद का room, that's insane. Grand Hyatt ना भाई, अपने जिंदगी में कभी देखा भी नहीं है Grand Hyatt भाई ढंग से. और गया room में, and man, it was the most luxurious room you can imagine. Okay. Yeah. Even till today, I have never stayed in a luxurious. We did a cruise, fucking spent a lot of money, but that was also not as luxurious as that fucking Grand Hyatt room in South Korea. And I'm like, what is happening? Am I suddenly rich? Like, what happened suddenly? And I just couldn't sleep. I was that excited. And they were like, tomorrow morning, wake up, we'll take you. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to miss the flight. So I woke up early. And when I woke up, they had slid like a paper under the door. And I read the paper and said, ki, due to some more error, is now going to take 4 hours more. So to make it up, we'll give you complimentary breakfast and lunch. I'm like, what? So, मैं भाई नहाया भी नहीं, मैं सीधा नीचे गया कि भाई पहले खाना खाएंगे, भाई मुफ्त का खाना है, ग्रैंड हयात साउथ कोरिया में. I go and it's a buffet. It's like 2 Delhi people are having different marriages. That level of buffet they are having. Man, and I tried food that I had never dreamed I would even get to eat. And I just kept trying stuff and everything was delicious. Man, it was insane. Insane it was.
You must have been so disappointed, like when they say, okay, now the flight's on time. Like,
Literally till the last minute, I was like, maybe something else will go wrong.
First person who wants his layover. इतना ज़्यादा कर-
भाई वो मैं तो यार like after breakfast I couldn't go back to the room. I just kept looking. I'm like यार रात को I was too tired. Let me at least see the hotel properly.
Yeah.
I just went to different washrooms and all. It was insane, man. It was too good. It was too good.
Ooh. Oh man. Okay, that was the third part about Auqaat ke Bahar. In such wide range of Auqaat ke Bahar things we have done. I'll just have a look at the chat once if there is something interesting that's happening. Shreya Verma says something that happened just Auqaat ke Bahar for us is that we got free memberships on the chat. Yes, that is true. Nice. Okay. कौन सी मूवी की स्क्रिप्ट है ये? अखिल is asking Rohan. Shreya is like, looks like Rohan still does not believe it. Oh man. Someone said it's good that it was South and not North Korea where it was. Fair. Okay, cool. Now we come to the last quarter. We'll start with Shreemayee's question. Shreemayee, what's your question?
Okay, my question is, what is the first movie you remember watching in the theater? And what was the experience like? And what do you think of the movie now? Like, how has your response to the movie changed or grown over the years?
Okay, we are starting with Dev.
I think the first movie that I legit remember watching was DDLJ, Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge, in theater. I'm that old. And I still remember we did not go to movies so much, like, back then. So it was one of the first times I think, like, I remember going to a theater. And I was really confused, like, what's going to happen here, right? Like, there's a little protrusion outside. Is it going to be a stage where someone's going to, like, come and act? Like, in your mind, you're like, what is going to happen? I still remember this experience of not understanding how this whole thing worked, because that was probably the first time I had, like, consciousness memory, like something to understand what was happening, right? I'm sure I have gone to theater as a kid, like, two years before that, but I didn't remember it well. And then that was the first time I saw, like, this big screen and, like, at such a big epic level, I saw a movie. And a lot of things, like, absolutely, like, firstly, I was overwhelmed by, I not just saw, like, film for the first time, I saw Europe also through the film. Then I saw Punjab, like, places I'd never seen. And all the stereotypes got, like, locked in forever in my head. I still, like, remember, like, it was, and now obviously when I watched the movie, I went to the 25th year celebration. I think that happened in 2014. Was it 20th year in 2014 to Maratha Mandir to watch, they ran it for a week. So I went and watched it again. Dude, it's one movie that has like aged and not aged at all. Like, there's so many aspects of it that you even now see, current day movies just taking from it, like just literally just taking the same scenes and sort of redoing it. Sometimes Aditya Chopra himself has been, like, trying to make that movie again and again. So it looks like all of Yashraj just takes the movie and keeps doing it again and again. But yeah, I mean, I love the movie even now. Right? It just stood the test of time in every way.
Man, DDLJ, beautiful. We'll do one DDLJ stream soon. Okay, it's my turn. Sorry. So again, I have some hazy memories as, like, having seen some of these movies when I was like 2 years, 3 years old. But you don't remember, but Like I remember Ram Lakhan, मेरे घर वाले देखने गए थे. I would have been 2 or 3 when Ram Lakhan came, so I don't remember everything. But there is some part of my brain which tells me that somewhere, and so that phase of Ram Lakhan, and there was another movie with Amir Khan and Juhi Chawla called Love, Love, Love. Okay,
Love
I
that.
again remember some portion of that, something somewhere. Okay, then I went to hostel, so I couldn't go to movies. And just like most middle class families, going to theater was not really a thing for our family. Like it would be very rare. I don't till date. I have never gone out for a movie with my mother or anyone, like anyone. Like I don't think we have ever seen a movie in the theater. My mama ji used to be like a cool person. Okay, just like for most people, your like younger brother of your parent is slightly cooler than the rest. So my mama ji, whenever he used to come home, there used to be one hope that he might go out for a movie and might take me. Okay, so the first movie I distinctly remember, this is it's such a non-worthy movie, but I remember because my mama ji was taking me to drop me to my hostel. So I would have been 8, 9 years old. We were going from this very small place called Godda in Jharkhand now to my hostel, which was in another small place in Jharkhand called Devghar. Okay, it was few hours bus drive or whatever. We reached Devghar, it was raining. तो माई मामा जी बीइंग स्मार्ट मामा जी दैट ही वाज, ये देखो बारिश वैसे ही हो रही है, ठीक है, अभी कहाँ हॉस्टल जा नहीं सकते हैं, लेट होगा, फिल्म देखते हैं. And this is the first time I'm going to theater in like from what I can remember, like in my life. Okay, I remember the previous year 94 Hum Aapke Hai Kaun had come and everyone had gone to watch, but I couldn't. Okay, and then so he went to whatever movie was running, and we watched a movie called Hakikat. Okay, starring
Akshay Khanna.
No, starring Ajay Devgan. This is mid 90s. This is 1995. Okay, Akshay Khanna hasn't made his debut.
Is this
Hakikat,
Ajay Devgan and Tabu?
Ajay Devgan and Tabu. Okay,
Yes,
this was the first movie I saw in like which I have proper memory of. Okay, Hakikat. This I just opened the soundtrack of the movie. If you remember this song, Le Papiya Jhapiya Pale Hum, Lada Le Hum.
Yes.
That is from this movie. Yeah, the other songs you might not know. Whatever. It's a weird movie. But I don't remember anything about the movie. But what I remember very strongly is I enjoyed the movie. And then when I reached the hostel late night, all the other kids were waiting for me कि यार ये क्यों नहीं पहुंचा. So I reached and we went to our dorm with like all the rooms and सब आए. And I told them, guys, मैं film देख के आया हूँ. And like they were like, oh my god, what the hell? We are like 8, 9 years old kid. Okay, so we're like whatever 8 to 10 के range के सब बच्चे हैं, 4th, 5th, 6th standard के. कौन सा film देखो, कौन सा? And I was like, हकीकत क्या होता है उसमें, क्या होता है? And I remember I narrated the whole movie to this bunch of 20-25 kids where I'm like, फिर ऐसा होता है, फिर ऐसा होता है, फिर एक डॉन होता है, वो अजय देवगन को बोलता है ऐसे कर, फिर तब्बू आती है, on full story. And it was such a great experience. And I kept doing that for many years after that. Every time I'll watch a movie, somehow I'll sit with my younger sister and younger brother and I'll narrate the whole film. This happened till Kaho Na Pyar Hai, till we were at that age where it was okay to do that. I think then we grew out of it. But like Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam I saw, I was like, okay, better. I used to take hours narrating the whole movie to my younger brother and sister. And I think this is one of the like very, very peculiar memory of just movie fandom where it started. And obviously Shreemayee's second part of your question I have no answer to. I have never revisited Hakikat. I don't want to watch it again. I don't know if it has aged well. No idea. But yeah, Ajay Devgan and Tabu continue to make movies as recent as Bhola last week.
Yeah.
So yeah, some things never change.
Nice.
Okay, going to Rohan now. Rohan.
Yeah, same as KV. I don't have. I remember like blurry images and something of a few films that I might have seen. But the one memory I have is when I saw Lagan for the first time in the theater, and that was like I mean,
2000.
I mean, it's not surprising that I remember that. So that was, I think, for all of us, whenever we saw it, it was an insane experience. And for me, what I remember vividly is before watching the film, the atmosphere of like the how, like when you sit with friends, like, "Yaar, main kal dekh ke aaya hum." Kya? Or dude, tere ko pata hai. And people would not give you exactly what the film is, because if you remember when it was marketed, they didn't reveal the cricket part of it. It's some film. It's some film. Come and watch some film. Like okay. And so then there was this murmurs. Like a friend of mine told me, "Ki tu ja raha hai kal?" Maine, "Haan." तू जा भाई तू देख. और मतलब ऐसे मैं बच्चा हूँ, लाइक ऑब्वियसली मैं देखूंगा, लाइक पेरेंट्स लेके जा रहे हैं, जैसे कि क्रिकेट के बारे में कुछ जो है ना वो है ही नहीं, वैसी है ही नहीं, जो भी तेरे को लग रहा है वैसे है ही नहीं कुछ क्रिकेट के बारे में, मैच वैच होता है मतलब. एंड फॉर मी लाइक 12-year-old, I'm like क्या बोल रहा है भाई, फिल्म में मैच कैसे हो सकती है. इट वाज लाइक वी डिडंट नो स्पोर्ट्स फिल्म्स होती है.
Yeah.
लाइक क्या बोल रहा है. एंड वी वेंट एंड मैन द थिएटर जस्ट टर्न्ड इनटू द फकिंग स्टेडियम.
Yeah.
और लोग ऐसे लिटरली इट वाज लाइक वाचिंग अ लाइव मैच, लाइक पीपल जस्ट स्क्रीमिंग एट द स्क्रीन, अबे मारना, अबे भागना. लाइक it was too good, man. Too good.
Yeah,
Amazing experience. And second part of the question, with time, I only have loved that film more. It is
Yeah.
like, I think that film just becomes better with time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Oh, man.
realize all the small things they've done and everything. It's just
Absolutely.
so good.
It's one of the most, again, ambitious. Again, it's another Lagan stream we'll have to do.
Yeah.
One of the most ambitious movie ever made. Imagine the second half is just a cricket match. Like,
Yeah.
it's unreal. No movie
You know
before
the movie-
Lagan or since Lagan has done this. Yeah, sorry.
The movie first went to Shah Rukh Khan and he said
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. Because
And-
he wanted to film
and-
with Dila Hindustani.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it went to Amir. First Amir said no, then it went to Shah Rukh. He said no. Then I think it went to Salman also. And then finally, it came back to Amir and then he took it out.
Too good.
Yeah.
Okay, we are coming back to Shreemayee now for the last.
Sorry, one more thing
Part.
is
Sorry.
it became obviously a huge success, and then eventually it came on television. And before internet, that was used to be a huge thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's coming on TV
Yeah.
now, and you get used to it. First time it's exciting, then you get used to it. But we used to have, like, me and my friends would always say like that's the mark of a good film if it comes on TV and you end up watching it from wherever you watch. You can't stop watching it once you start. So it's that
Yeah.
kind of a film.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. Shreemayee, last answer of the show today.
So
Your
I know
question,
that the
your answer.
first, I know that the first movie, like I've been told that the first time I was taken to the theater was for Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. I was 5 years old then. And I grew up in a family where like my brother and all my cousins, they were all like big Shah Rukh Khan fans. And we like, there was a lot of Hindi music playing in our house all the time. So before I went to watch, before I had ever seen a Shah Rukh Khan movie, I was already a Shah Rukh Khan fan. I had heard the songs. I was born a Shah Rukh Khan fan. So I was very excited to watch Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. I was like, okay, I'm finally growing up. I'm allowed to watch movies. So we went to a single screen in Calcutta to watch it, and I remember being so excited. And I saw the first couple of scenes, and there's that scene where the just a minute scene where she picks up the chit and her topic is Ma, and then
Ma.
she starts crying.
Yeah.
And oh man, I started crying, and then the fucking whole film I just cried. And my mom and my dad and my brother were just like, they all took turns to just be like, this is just a movie. But I would not stop. And then at some point they stopped. They were just like, it's okay, just let her cry. I just wailed throughout the movie. I don't know what I understood. I didn't understand anything. Like, it took me many years to realize that like why they go to summer camp also. It just like, it took me many years to I was just watching it dumbly. But man, I remember watching. I mean, I have vague memories of watching the movie. The rest of it, I've been told that you behaved like this and you embarrassed all of us, and we'll never take you to the theater again. So I saw it then. When it came on TV, I kept watching it. Kuch Kuch Hota Hai was like one of my favorite movies. And like every time it would come on TV, like it didn't matter which part of the movie was playing, like once, and I would just watch it. And I'd seen it like some 20-30 times till I left home when I was about 18. And I left, and I've never watched Kuch Kuch Hota Hai after that. And now that I've grown up and I've heard like people talk about it, and I think about the movie, like I don't want to go back and watch it because I don't want, like, I don't want to now be like, I don't, like, there are problems with this movie. I don't want to go there. I'm just like, no, it's still it's a cute movie. So I don't know how I'll react to it.
Yeah. Cool. On that note, we have exceeded our time, but we hopefully all our audience and all of you guys had fun doing this. Thank you so much, first of all, to Rohan, Shreemayee, and Dev for taking out time to do this. Thank you so much for the live audience, and thank you everyone who is watching it later. And please comment with any story that you have on these questions, any questions you have that you think we can use on Slambook Show. Maybe we can add a segment where we take people's question and the panelists can answer that question. But thank you everyone in the chat. Akhil says Shreemayee Das after her Kuch Kuch Hota Hai experience. Nilesh, everyone in the chat, thank you so much for coming. And yeah, please watch the other stuff that we have put out on YouTube and come for live shows. Arin,
And please
Shreya,
follow us
everyone,
on
please
Instagram.
follow us on
at
Instagram on KVizzing. KVizzing is an Instagram page where we come out with one question every single day. Everyone says, beautiful podcast. It was super fun. It was fun. Thank you, Nikunj, Arin, Shreya. I will end the stream now. One more time, I'll thank Rohan, Shreemayee, and Dev, and we'll
Thanks,
end.
KV.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you for having us.
You guys, thank you. Just ending, and we pause.